أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
الحمد لله رب العالمين
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds.
الرحمن الرحيم
The entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
مالك يوم الدين
Sovereign of the day of recompense.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين
It is you we worship and you we ask for help.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم
Guide us to the straight path.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, not of those who have evoked your anger or of those who are astray.
Okay, good morning once again. So we are on our webinar orientation on learning delivery modalities, course 2 for teachers. The objectives of this webinar are for you teachers to improve your readiness for the implementation and management of learning delivery modalities consistent with the policies and COVID-19 response framework adopted by the government. And another, this webinar also will help you implement the learning delivery modalities course 2 effectively and efficiently as planned. So without much further ado, I will give to you our first speaker for this webinar. I will to discuss to us what is this learning delivery modalities course 2 for teachers. He will discuss to us the course overview. Let me give you Dr. Angelito D. Barazona, Education Program Supervisor. Sir Barazona, good morning.
Good morning, everyone, especially to our Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Edelberto Pinaria, at our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Rosemary Masesar, and to our CID Chief, Ma'am Mary Arlene Carbonera, COD Chief, Ma'am Maricar Ablin, and to the personnel of CID, SGOD, OSDS in attendance, and of course to our teachers from different schools in the Division of Lanao del Norte. Good morning, everyone. So for my presentation, let me share to you my slides. Once again, good morning. Nakita ba ako ang presentation? Okay, so for this session, this is session 1, which is on the Learning Delivery Modality 2 for Teachers, its course overview. The objective of this session is for us to be able to listen to the discussion on the Learning Delivery Modality framework. Excuse me for a while ha, kay i-reattach na ako. Okay, so I'm very sorry for the technical glitch. So let me continue with my presentation. So this session one is on LDM2 for teachers course overview. So the objective of this session is for you to be able to listen to the discussion of the LDM framework, the course content of the learning delivery modality 2, its delivery design, and the type of learning modalities to be utilized as we start the school year come October 5. So in the LCP courses, and the course 1 is on learning delivery modalities. Course 2, we have the learner's welfare and well-being. For course 3, we have the provision of psychosocial support and training on wellness. This is for school, and just leave this. We'll proceed to the course for teachers. So we have the LDM2 for teachers. We're in course 1. We have 4 modules. So module 1 is on course orientation. Module 2, we have the most essential learning competencies. Module 3 focuses on the lesson design and assessment in the modalities. And module 4, for coaches, we have the technical assistance and coaching in learning delivery modalities. And for the teachers, under module 4, we have planning for continuing professional development in learning delivery modality, the pedagogies, assessment, and the learning action cell planning. For course 2, that's for learners' welfare and well-being. It has 3 modules. Module 1 is on child's protection. Module 2, we have psychosocial support needs of learners at home. And Module 3 is on engaging parents, home, and community partners. For course 3, 7 modules under it. Module 1, we have self-care and dimensions of wellness. Module 2, physical wellness. Module 3, spiritual wellness. Module 4, emotional wellness. Module 5, intellectual and financial wellness. Module 6, environmental wellness. And Module 7, we have social and vocational wellness. So all these things will comprise the course under the Learning Continuity Plan for teachers. For the Learning Delivery Modality 2 for teachers, under course 1, which is on learning delivery modalities, it has 4 course objectives. One is to know the different learning delivery modalities and platforms, their features, uses, and pedagogies. So we all know that we will be adapting different types of learning delivery modalities. So that's part of course 1 that we will be having for you teachers. Another objective is to plan for the implementation of the school adapted learning delivery modalities. Then after the planning, we have the preparation of learning materials and resources needed for the learning delivery modality. And I believe that most of us teachers are part of the effort in preparing all these learning materials to be used by our learners as we start the school year come October 5. Then the last objective is to be confident in executing lessons in the new learning delivery modality. So we have here the LCP, or the Learning Continuity Plan Capacity Building Framework for teachers and school leaders. So this will be the basis of all our actions as we are going to adapt so it's professional development priority. It's included there, or it's part of the planning is to include the COVID-19 response using the learning continuity plan that we have. So it has also its designs and implementation principles and guidelines, in which part of it is the provision of courses and programs for our supervisors, school heads, and teachers. At the same time, we still have our regular professional development programs and courses for all employees of DepEd. And also, we still have our internal and external learning service providers. So as we are going to have this to improve our readiness for this remote multimodal learning delivery, because as we are other modalities, for us to be able to address the needs of our learners is to be used in choosing appropriate learning delivery modality. So we were able to conduct survey, and we identify different learning delivery to fit into the needs of our learners. And of course, we still need to improve being teachers and public servants to improve our pedagogical content, knowledge, and assessment. And all these things will produce equality instructional delivery in the new normal, which is the main needs of our of the so long education. So under this learning delivery model, this is the activities that we will be doing. So for you teachers, you are going to have this course. So you'll be provided with self-learning module. So it's self-learning module. You're going to read, you're going to study the content of the module for you to become independent in by doing those activities being given there or being provided in the module. And you also have to do peer learning, with your co-teachers, with your coach, and all other members of the team that will be created. So this will be done through learning action cell sessions and even coaching. So as we have this course, you are going to have two types of learning. We have the synchronous and the asynchronous learning. So when you see synchronous, there is a time that we have the actual time or the real time that we will be having with our co-teachers or with our coach, just like what we are doing now. This is a type of synchronous learning where we can interact with the speakers and those who are connected with the portal. So we have this video conferencing, we have the synchronous peer learning through learning action cell and coaching. Another type of learning is the asynchronous learning. So when we are given with the self-learning modules, we can use use it anytime. We can study the module anytime. So there is no time for that. No, it depends on the time that when we are going to use the module. So we call it asynchronous. No? Then next is the learning delivery modality design. No? So this is then the flow of the activities to be done as we have this course for the learning delivery modality. So we have here the learning participant. This refers to the teachers. So you are going to study the modules that will be provided to you. So you will become independent. You will be given independence in studying those modules. And you even have to do it with your peers through LAC sessions and coaching. So after doing it, you can submit your output to the LAC leader. So who will in turn collect the output, then submit those outputs to the assigned coach, who will do the output evaluation and validation. So after doing this, the coach will recommend that output of the teacher for certification to the NIAP. Could be regional office or in the central office. So there will be a certificate of participation or issuance of certificate of participation. So for the NIAP, it will give an update to participants on its professional development record in the professional development information system or offline professional development credit banking. Who in turn, kung mapasar siya, will issue a certificate of completion. So again, this is the flow, no? The flow of the course, no? Starting with the course engagement, followed by the module output, the submission to LAC leader. Then we have module output submission to the division coach. Then module output evaluation to be submitted. Then recommendation for certification. Then the last is the issuance of certificate to the teacher. Next is the indicative implementation schedule and time allotment. So as you look at the slide, it's supposed to be done in August, but then we're short of time, so we have to move this. However, the number of days that the training should be conducted shall remain 5 days. So training of coaches for LDM2 will be for 5 days. And for teachers, again, it's for 5 days also. Okay, so let's have this game time. So I want you to look at the slide and kindly type your answer on the chat box. The question here is, what do you think is the proper sequence of modules in LDM2? Get a sheet of paper or in your smartphone and write the letters of your answer. So you can write your answer on the chat box that we have for those who are in this portal. So what do you think is the first activity to be done? Okay. So here's the correct sequence of the activities. So for the first activity, we have the course orientation, followed by the most essential learning competencies, then designing instruction in different learning modalities. We have the learning resources, then followed by planning for continuing professional development and LAC planning. And then we have building the teaching portfolio related to the implementation of the modalities. So that's the four sequence or the four activities to be done under this course for teachers. So we also have here the course modules for teachers. So for module 1, the suggested duration for it to be done is 4 hours. Module 2, the most essential learning competencies, it will take you 3 hours to do the activities in the module. So module 3A, that's designing instruction in different learning modality, delivery modalities. That will be for 18 to 24 hours. No? That will be for 3 days maximum. Module 3B on learning resources, that's for 4 hours. Then module 4, the planning for continuing professional development, unlock planning. It will take you 2 hours. So total number of hours is 31 to 37 hours for part 1. And for part 2, we have the practicum on the LDM implementation and building portfolio. That's module 5. So building the teaching portfolio related to the implementation of the modalities. The suggested duration of time is 4 hours. And then we have here the LDM implementation mechanism. So for LDM course 2, so the course management is under the division office, with the regional office and the central office, NAIAP, providing the technical assistance. And its coaching management still will be done by the division for LDM learning and application. And for the monitoring and evaluation, it will be done by NAIAP CO with regional QUAD and the division schools, governance and operations division. And then for the teachers, we have here the master teachers who will then be our or your leaders. And all the teachers again will then be part of the course. Then course management implementation procedure. So we have here for region led through the NAIAP region. This will constitute the training management team, prepare implementation plan, conduct orientation for the management team, set up identification and registration of participants, then prepare for the online orientation, just like what we are doing now, then implement the course following the delivery design. Then for monitoring and evaluation, we have to operationalize the M&E mechanism with NAIAP CO through the Quality Assurance Division, providing technical assistance. And of course, update on the learning delivery modalities, implementation status trackers regularly, and submit M&E report. And the last one is to have the report on its progress. So we have here the suggested program management team. For the division, the overall team leader will be the schools division superintendent through the SGOD. The overall co-team leader is the CID. For the technology and platform team, the one who will take charge of it is the ICT. And for the M&E, we have the SGOD M&E in charge. Then for the procedure for management of coaching and TE mechanism for LDM for teachers, this will constitute the coaching team in the division being composed of division and district supervisors. Then there will be assignment of coaches to learning action cells. If necessary, we need to orient the coaching team, monitor the coaching activities, address related issues related to coaching activities, and report coaching
activities. So that would be all for the overview of the course, the LDM2 for teachers. Thank you so much and good morning.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Angelito, for that comprehensive discussion as to what is this LDM2 is all about. So I hope teachers, you already have this idea as to the what is this learning delivery modalities for teachers all about. How are you going to start it, and how are you going to um, where to start, and hopefully the output of that modules. So this time for our session 2 for the giving of technical assistance and coaching in LDM2. Let us skip this first since Ma'am Eva Idon is in another webinar. So let us proceed with our session 3, the walkthrough of LDM2 for teachers. So let us start with Dr. Rosario Arvios, Education Program Supervisors. Sir, good morning. Sir Rios, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir.
Uh, uh, I was thinking that I am a third speaker. Oh, but anyway,
Sorry, sir.
just
Sorry, Ma'am Eva is in another webinar. She will do the reporting, man good sir. Nag-overlap ang time sa reporting niya sa region. So that is why I have to call you first before Ma'am Eva.
can you open share?
So Ma'am Lorraine, I hope after Sir Bios, you will be next, Ma'am Lorraine. Thank you.
Jen. Okay, Jen.
Ikaw na ka? Ako pa yun. Slide on. Iyo lang.
Sir Bios. Sir Bios, are you still there?
Dayon. Ini. Mara na siya. Ma'am Jennifer?
Yes, sir. Are you now ready?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, my respect and greetings to our school's division superintendent, Dr. Edalberto L. Oplinaria, to our assistant schools division superintendent, Dr. Rosemary Masisar, the chief of the curriculum implementation division, Dr. Mary Arlene Carbonera, the Chief of the School Governance and Operation Division, Dr. Maria Camila Ablin, to all the APSs, ESDSs, the school heads who are attending this virtual orientation, and to all the teachers who are in attendance, good morning to all of us. This morning, I will be presenting to you the learning delivery modalities, module 2 for the teachers, or LDM 2 for the teachers. Now, this session will give us a thorough discussion on the module objective, the content and duration, activities, and the expected outputs. So for module 1, for the learning delivery modality 2 for the teachers, this is all about a course orientation. So the objective of this module 1, describe what this course is about and how it will help you manage the teaching learning process in the modalities. Now, for the fact, we all know that our teachers play an important role, crucial role in the implementation of the different learning delivery modalities in the teaching learning process, distance learning at home. So the content of this module, it has 2 lessons, no? We have lesson 1, which is all about the course overview. Then lesson 2, organizing your learning action cells, no? So that is 4 hours. Now for lesson 1, under this module, which is all about the course orientation, it includes course overview for lesson 1, and for lesson 2, we have the organizing your LAC. Now in lesson 1, it has 3 activities. Now teachers who are now attending this virtual orientation, please take note that there are 3 activities for lesson 1 under this module, which is the title is course overview. This is very important for us to really understand what are these things that we are going to do comes October 5, especially in the decision of the different learning delivery modalities that the school have chosen. So please take note of this. Activity 1 for the course overview under lesson 1, we have reflecting on the course of, meaning that in this activity, we are going to read an overview of what is learning delivery modalities, and we'll have to reflect on it so that we can have we can have a very good start, or as we move on to the module 1 of this course orientation. And the activity 3 under this lesson 1 course overview is discussing answers to activities 1 and 2. So maybe there is a sharing, no, for these activities, or activity number 3. For lesson 2, we know for the fact that we are now a very strategic position for us to be ready, no, anytime that what of these plans that we have. But fortunately, because of this learning action, fight at our own battle in the field, especially in the implementation of the different learning modalities. So there is really a need for us to organize your LAC in the school. So for activity number 1, so this organizing your LAC lesson 2 has 3 activities, no? Activity 1, this is all about the reading of the Department of Order 35 Series 2016 and reflecting on it. So we will be given a copy of this DepEd Order 35 2016, which is all about the implementation of the Learning Action Cell, and especially the most important one is the terms of reference that the members of the Learning Action Cell should follow and should adhere on these different conditions. For activity 2, conducting your first LAC session. So since we are talking about LAC, so there will be a LAC or series of sessions that you will be conducting in your respective districts and schools or stations. Then activity 3, activity outputs. This time I will bring you or have this module for course orientation in which it has 2 lessons. The course overview, which has 3 activities, and lesson to organizing your lab, which has 3 activities. So this time, before opening these copies for the course orientation, let us first have a little overview of these different links. No, first we are going to have the course overview, as this is part of the course orientation. Okay. Now, this is the course overview, the Learning Delivery Modalities Course 2 or LDM2 for teachers. Now, you have nothing to worry about with this portion because you will be provided with this copy. Now, this course overview is included in the package of the LDM2 or Learning Delivery Modality Course 2. So you have nothing to worry about this. But what is the most important is just read this one seriously. This course overview will tell us about the different learning delivery modalities as reflected in the Bureau in the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan in the Department Order number 12. For this course overview, just have a run through on this because this is a very long handouts. So course objectives and doing different LDMs, modalities and platforms. No, we have the framework in the learning continuity plan, which is this is very important for you to discuss during your class. This is all about the functions, no, of the teachers and the school leaders in anchoring sulong edukalidad, bringing then the course design, content, and delivery are also reflected on your smartphone. For more details, read the study notebook brief. It is available to all of us that during our LAC sessions, as discussed, the first speaker, if ever we have the LAC sessions, we should always have our study notebook, no, or study notebook, because all the details, all our queries, all our reflections, all our answers in the activities that we will be conducting in the LAC sessions are all reflected in the study notebook brief. So we have this LDM2 course modules. Always remember, this is the course overview. These are the things that you are going to, or that we are going to hurdle in learning delivery modalities too in this LAC session or in your series of LAC session. Teacher, be exposed to the doing, or why is it that this most essential learning competencies come into existence from the original curriculum guide or competencies that are found in the curriculum guide. So we have lesson design and assessment in modalities. That is 18 to 24 hours for course orientation, 4 hours, competencies, 3 hours. Then module 3B, learning resources, 4 hours, module 4, 2. Okay. Okay. So that's for part 1. Then for part 2, we have the practicum, the expected outputs. No? So that's all for the course overview. It's main details. We have also, or going to the details of this course overview, it is also highlighted that we will have to find our PPS, our MELCs to the PPST standards. No? So we have that content knowledge and pedagogy. We have that learning environment, diversity of learners, curriculum planning, assessment, and reporting. Now, all of these handouts or copies of this course overview will be given to your included in the copies or in the package. No? So that's it. Now, another important details is about DO35. No? So, kanina, overview. This time, we will just have a run-through of this of DepEd Order number 35, Series 2016. We all know about this DepEd Order because this is already quite or long overdue, no, DepEd Order, which is from 2000 or which is in 2000 or 2016. So DepEd Order number 35, Series 2016, that is all about the Learning Action Cell as a K-12 basic education program, school-based continuing professional development strategy for the improvement of teaching and learning. So this is our legal basis why we are now conducting a Learning Action Cell, and yet some of the schools are already conducting the Learning Action Cells in the different districts, in the different schools. So maybe this is now our time also to use this legal basis in the foregoing Learning Action Cells in the different districts or in the schools. So that is DepEd Order number 35. You are going to read this one. Medyo taas-taas ni siya, but this is really a very important legal basis because the terms and reference in the composition of the Learning Action Cell group is embedded in this DepEd Order. So the last part of this DepEd Order, if you will try to scan it, no, because this is again will be given to you as your reference included in the package of this material, you can really read the terms and conditions or the terms of reference of all the members of the LAC that will be organized for every school, no? So that's it for DepEd Order number 35. Then another material, we have the LAC session guide. Now, maybe this is not new to us because in every seminars or trainings conducted even before the pandemic that we have the face-to-face trainings, face-to-face seminars, we are guided with LAC sessions, no? So this time, since we are also in this virtual webinar or training, we are also guided with LAC sessions. So we have no doubts or we have nothing to worry about. How are we going to implement or to run through the LAC sessions? Because in every module we are given or it is being included in the package the LAC session guide for us to follow. Now the first component, we have this getting started. No? In the first column, LAC components, activity, and suggested period. I know for the fact that you have already, some of the schools and the teachers and the school heads were conducting already these LAC sessions, but this is just a review and a revisit or refresher, no? To all of us who have been starting already the LAC sessions that this is the LAC session guide. If possible, we'll have to follow this one, getting started, then we have the activities, then we have the suggested period of time. So that is 15 to 20 minutes. Then we have the small group sharing. Then we have the big group sharing. Then we have the plenary sharing. So in the small group sharing, there are questions to be given as guide for the LAC members to really discuss on their part so that they can also share their good ideas in support, or that will supplement to the preparation for this LDM, different learning delivery modalities. Then we have the small group sharing, we have that big group sharing, or that plenary sharing. That is 10 to 15 minutes. Then going to looking forward to the next session na dayon. Now, the LAC facilitator sets the assignments, study LDA module 2 on the most essential learning competencies. So this is the next part of the module. So in looking forward to the next sessions, after discussing the topic in the previous hours or minutes, looking forward to the next sessions, the LAC facilitator or with the LAC members will have to decide for the next module or the next topic to be discussed in the next session. Then there is a completion of reports. The LAC facilitator completes LAC Form 3, LAC session report. Then the LAC members complete LAC Form 4, which is the LAC engagement report. Now you have nothing again to worry about all these LAC forms. We will be providing these LAC forms, including the study notebooks guide, as included in this package of the LDM 2. So this is the LAC session guide. So I will now bring you, by this time we will have a walkthrough on Module 1. So Module 1, which is all about the course orientation. So we are still in the Module 1. Now actually this material, this was developed by the Department of Education as spearheaded by the National Educators Academy of the Philippines and all of the education partners in the Department of Education. So that is why that this learning delivery modalities course for teachers come to its existence because of the efforts of the Department of Education and all alliance, all education partners in our bureau, in our department, which are spearheaded by the different heads of offices, like in the Bureau of Curriculum Development, Department of Education, led by Director Jocelyn D. Andaya, in the Bureau of Learning Delivery, as Director Laila Ariula, the Foundation for Information Technology, Education and Development for PPD at Scale Police Coalition for the Global South, led by its Executive Director, Victoria L. Pino. So this is now the Module 1 for the course orientation. So during your LAC session, this is your first attack. The session guide that we presented, that I presented a while ago, that will really point out, or that will really guide us or guide the teachers in conducting this Module 1 course orientation. So, naadiri, hi, ma'am and sir, how are you? We hope that you are doing well despite of our current national health situation. So that's it. So that's your guide, or that's your module topic, which is about course orientation. Then we have Welcome to Learning Delivery Modality Course 2 for teachers. This course aims to support you in your preparation for the new learning delivery modality in your school. So, parang ganun lang. So, you have nothing to worry again about this learning action cell because everything will be given to you and you will be guided everything of what are we going to do in the conduct of this different learning modalities with the different modules in the learning delivery modalities. So, we have the module objective for course orientation that will talk about course overview. The one that I have presented a while ago in the previous slides. Then listen to organizing your LAC action cell. So mga siya, this is now our main focus of Module 1, which is entitled course orientation. Estimated time required is 4 hours. So this is one. If you can still recall, the one that I have presented in the previous slides, lesson 1 is about course overview. So this is now. So unsa may buhaton diri sa course overview? These are the why, what, and how of this course. The teaching learning process in the LDMs adopted by the school. Okay, so by the end of this lesson, you are going to read that one, key topic concepts, then the resources required, LDM course overview. If you can still recall that in the previous slide, I have presented also the course overview, a copy of the course overview. Kato siya, you are going to read that one, the course overview, because in the later part of your learning action set, you will be discussing about, and you will be interacting about, and collaborating your ideas in the context of the overview of the different learning delivery modalities and all important guidelines and other resources required, you will have to prepare your study notebook. Okay. Again, if you can still remember, activity 1 under lesson 1, we have read the LDM course overview. So this is done already. I have presented this one. So all what are you going to do is just read this LDM course overview. Activity 1, reflect on the overview by answering the following. So we have request.
Hello, Sir Bios. Sir Bios.
Important, no? So
Hello,
there
Sir
are questions to
Bios.
be answered by all the members of the learning action cell.
Hello, Sir
Hello,
Bios.
sir.
Kung sa'yo mag-present, sir, kay wala man may makita diri ang as of now, link ra man imong gihatag.
Maintains a professional
Ay,
image.
siya makita, sir.
Wala, link ni siya, then imong gi-click.
Good grooming and communication.
Oh, link me siya, sir. Sige lang, sir. Ako lang, bubalik ako niya sa presentation ako sa PowerPoint. Ako lang niya siyang girantro, kaya ron maklaro niya kung saan isunod pero dili na siya display di ay.
Actions and behaviors.
Kung link na siya, sir, di na siya makita, sir. Kinahanglan gud ipapikita gud nimo, stop nimo ang presentation, then ibalik nimo present katong PDF na gyud imong i-share.
Okay, sir. Anyway, this will be given participant, sir. I have just included this one in the link in this presentation. Then I just going to run through for this in order for them to know what is this all about. But I will be just going back to the presentation.
Okay, sir. Sige, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I will continue. So this is my session 3.2, which is all about the most essential learning competencies. So this is very critical and very important to all of us to know this most essential learning competencies, because this is the basis in the production or in the development of our modules. So the most essential learning competencies. Now for the objectives of this, we have that explain the background and development of the MELCs. Then we have unpack the MELCs. Then combine related competencies into learning objectives. Now the content of this module 2, it has 2 lessons. This is all about the background and rationale and the development of MELCs. Then lesson 2, this is the unpacking and combining MELCs into learning objectives. The estimated number of hours, 3 hours. So for these 2 lessons. Okay, so for lesson 1, so going back, lesson 1, background MELCs. For lesson 1, it has different activities, no? Number 1 activity under this background, rationale, and development of MELCs. We have to reflect on learning continuity and curriculum. Now, again, this is not new to us that in the implementation of the different learning delivery modalities, we have that Department Order number 12, Series 2020, which is the adoption on the basic education learning continuity plan. In this school year 2021, 2020 and 2021, in light of the COVID-19 public emergency safety. No? So I just would like to remind again the teachers and even all the school heads, all of us, that we should adhere on this Department Order number 12, Series 2020. That there are I think five learning delivery modalities that we have. We are going to review on it. The first is the face-to-face. We have the distance learning. Then we have the blended distance learning. We have the homeschooling and the apprenticeship. So after reading this DepEd order, Series 2020, which is all about learning continuity plan, in your LAC session for this activity number 1, we are going to reflect on this, and there are sets of questions that will be given to you in your module 2. So nothing to worry about, because you will be given, if you do not have the copy of DepEd order number 12 series 2020, this is again included in the package of the learning delivery modality 2. Since this is only an orientation, the details of this will be discussed thoroughly in your LAC session comes in your own schedule. Then another is activity for the lesson 1, which is under background, rational and development of MELCs. Now, after completing activity 1, after reading activity 1, which is all about DepEd order number 12 series 2020, in number 2 activity, you are going to familiarize on the design and development of MELCs. So again, I have posted here another link for you to, these are the links. No, this is the link for activity 2 for you to open, that we will be guided, or you will be guided on the development and design of our MELCs. Why is it that the MELCs comes into existence? No, or it is the basis in the production, or it is the basis in the development of our modules. So this is development and design of MELCs link. No? So you are going to use this one. You are going to familiarize on the design and development of MELCs. So just a portion of this link from the curriculum guide. The competencies from the curriculum guide are being studied by the learning experts in order to come out the learning objectives intended for this pandemic time. Now, actually, the MELCs, or the minimum essential learning competencies are actually derived from the competencies that are found in the curriculum guide in the different learning subjects or different learning areas. Now, we are just coming to an idea, or we are just arriving to an idea that we will have just to pick up the most common and the most doable competencies to have it as our learning objectives in our modules, or for this pandemic time, in order for the learners to really accomplish and perform the task, the knowledge, skills, attitude, and values for them to accomplish even the time of pandemic. Because we could not allow that even that this time of pandemic, our students have nothing to do in their respective houses. So that is why we need to have these MELCs in order for the learners to really survive at their own battle, doing this the most common, the most applicable and doable competencies for the different learning areas in all key stage level. For activity 3, comparing the K-12 competencies and MELCs. So in this activity, for your LAC session on this, you will have to go back and analyze the curriculum guide and the competencies of the K-12 which are non-negotiable competencies. We could not afford to get some of these competencies or to eradicate from the competencies or from the curriculum guide, but rather we are going to make this one very applicable, putting into the most essential learning competencies. So that is your activity. For activity 4, discussing answer to activities 1 to 3 plus your learning action cell. Why there is plus? In activities 1 to 3, you are going to study all these things, all these links. Then in a group sharing or in a big sharing or in a big plenary, during your learning action cell, you will be sharing good ideas, points, and other things that could really enrich our learnings when it comes to the implementation of learning delivery modalities. So lesson 1, that is one activities 1 to 3 and 4. For lesson 2, unpacking and combining MELCs into learning objectives. Again, we have activity 1 to 3 for this lesson. Identifying considerations in unpacking and combining the MELCs. Now, to tell you, my dear teachers and school heads, when I attended the national orientation of the unpacking and combining of the MELCs in EPP-TLA, it is really very important that if possible, we should know all the critical aspects of competencies in every subject, in every learning areas, and in every grade levels. Because that is the focus of, that is one of the considerations in doing unpacking and merging of the most essential learning competencies or the competencies from the curriculum guide in order to come by the central office and will in fact that we are doing or what we are using in the development and in the production of our self-learning modules. And that is from the regional office or so from activity number 8, unpacking and combining the MELCs in activity 1. So in activity, you will be doing unpacking and combining learning objectives. So parang hands-on, no? Parang hands-on, what shall we do in unpacking and combining learning objectives? But you have nothing to worry about because in activity 1, you are guided with the principles and the guidelines on how to unpack and combine the competencies in the curriculum guide, doing it into the most essential learning competencies. In activity 3, submitting activity to outputs to LAC leader. Because you have also your LAC leader in your LAC session. Okay? So, you will have to submit your individual presentation on unpacking of sample most essential learning competencies. The one that you have, the one that you are going inata, learning delivery 2 for teachers module 3, which is all about designing instruction in different learning delivery modalities. You know, my dear teachers, it is really a great challenge to all of us that we are now doing or we are now implementing, no, or we are now
Sir Flor, nawala, Sir Vios, We cannot hear you, sir.
Number one, the different types of distance learning. Now, let us take note, no? Objective number one, different delivery modalities prescribed in the LCP. My dear, let us all be aware of this objective or this LDMs prescribed in the LCP. Because our main Bible in the implementation of the different learning delivery modalities is our learning continuity plan. That we have even contextualized this in order to fit into our needs in our division. That is why we have come up with different types of distance learning modalities. Now, in our division, we have that distance learning modalities. Under that one, we have that modular distance learning. We have that blended distance learning. No, we have the RBI and the TBI. We have the online distance learning. Under the modular distance learning, we have the printed and we have the digital materials. Under the blended distance learning, we have the combination of the different distance learning modalities. And in the distance learning also, we have that learning different modalities. So let us take note of this. Our main Bible for this is our learning continuity plan. Let us go back to Department Order number 12, Series 2020. Number 2 objective, apply the lesson, design and assessment considerations for distance learning in the light of the COVID-19 crisis. Now, we do not know when this COVID-19 crisis will be flattened. So that is why we are still looking into any considerations as to what extent that we can make possibilities in the assessment or the level of performance of our learners as they have started already the distance learning. Weekly home learning plans, this is a very important tool. No? The weekly home learning plan, this, especially the teachers, no, on the day week that we are going to give to our learners. Then we have that. So tutoring plan also very important in order to keep track the progress of the learners and to find out different gaps, no, different in the performance of the task given to them in our modules or in any materials we give to them, in order for us that we can have a very good plan for scaffolding our learners and even our learning facilitators for them to do support to the learners. Then the content of this module, lesson 1, understanding the different learning delivery modalities, lessons and assessments, and different learning delivery modalities. Then lesson 3, we have guiding and monitoring learners in the different learning delivery modalities. This will take 18 to 24 hours. So this is a quite long topics that we are or that you are going to handle within your series select sessions. So please be guided on this number of the different lessons in the LCP. So again, you will be guided in this activity, DO12, Series 2020 on the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. Again, I would like always to reiterate this one, that our main Bible on the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, which is will always guide us on how are we going to implement effectively the different learning delivery modalities across the division and in all districts, in all schools in our province. Then activity number 2, we have deep diving into distance learning plus learning action cell. Now, in this activity 2, you will be discussing or you will be exposed to a series of activities for this activity 2 that will give us ample opportunity to learn more on distance learning, in which our division is part on this distance learning modalities. No? So you will be guided with these links. We have distance. No? So in this distance learning matrix, you are going to really capture on the different distance learning modalities that will really suit or fit in into the school, the choice of the parents or the choice of the learners, no, in that particular district or in that particular school. Then LDM2, your ability to deep diving into distance learning, you will be guided with the guidance on distance. No, so you have nothing to worry about. All these materials will be provided to you. The guidance on this learning. Then another link, read on this activity too, in order for us to give ample opportunity and knowledge about this. We have that non-negotiable minimum requirements for distance learning. So there are minimum learning modalities, and this is really very important to all of us, especially the school heads and the teachers, so that we can really adhere on the minimum requirements but non-negotiable in order to effectively deliver the distance learning modalities to our learners. For the supplementary handout on blended learning delivery modalities, again, this will be provided to you for the blended learning delivery modalities. Now, let us always recall and review and revisit what are these blended learning delivery modalities, as this is part of the distance learning. No, going back, as we are going to revisit, the distance learning, number one is the face-to-face, the online, the modular distance learning. We have the online distance learning. We have the RBI, the TVI, and we have that blended distance learning delivery modalities. That is distance learning, or those are the distance learning. But under the blended learning delivery modalities or blended distance learning, we have the combinations of either 2 or 3 of the different distance learning modalities. In this time, we are not yet allowed, or we are not still allowed to utilize the face or to use the face-to-face basis. Okay, for lesson 1, again, activity 3, ranking the types of distance learning plus lab. Now, in this activity, you will be answering, no? You will be answering a table on this because you are going to rank the types of distance learning that is the easiest to difficult to be implemented, no, or to implement. From the easiest to difficult to implement, meaning to say all the learning modalities, you are going to rank them from the easiest to the difficult to implement. So considering also the reasons, because we cannot immediately say that that is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. For example, online distance learning, I will rank this one as number 5. What is your basis? So there is always a reason for that. Then for activity 4, identifying targeted interventions for learners with special concerns. Now we know for the fact that in the implementation of these different learning modalities, it could not be denied that we have different special concerns, especially to the part of the parents, to the part of the learners, and even to the part of the key players who will be implementing and overseeing all this implementation of the different learning delivery modalities. So by this time in this activity 4, when you will be having and conducting your lab, you are again guided with this link. I have posted it here. And this slide, I will share it to you so that you can utilize this slide also when you will be conducting orientation. Designing instruction in the different learning delivery modalities. Meaning to say, you will use this one consideration of the different special concerns of the learners, of the parents, the stakeholders, the teachers, and all of the key players who is or who are on policy guidelines on daily lesson plan preparation. No? So again, this is included in the package of no? So activity. So in that Deputy Order number 42, Series 2016, on policy guidelines on daily lesson plan preparation, that will guide
Sir Bios? Sir Bios? Sir Bios? Sir, nawala na jud.
Hello, Ma'am Jane.
Hello. Hello, Ma'am Jane.
Hello, sir. Sir, if possible, isa lang ka unit gamitan ninyo, sir. Dayon, kanang lain kayo, magputol-putol, sir. Then nawala jud ka. Hello, sir.
Hello, Ma'am Jane.
Yes, sir. Isa lang ka unit gamit ang i-on ninyo,
Makita.
sir, para dili mo mag... Nawala ang presentation, sir. Hello, sir. Isa lang ka unit ang i-on, sir.
Hello, Ma'am Jane.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Madam mo, nakita niya?
Sir, choppy kayo ka, sir.
Kana, Ma'am Jane.
Ah, kana, sir.
Okay na?
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay na, Ma'am Jane. Can I proceed?
Ah, yes, sir. Sige. You can proceed.
Okay. I am now in lesson 2 for module 3, activity 3. So activity 3 for the lesson 2 in module 3. Reflecting on, they will be guided with the principle Sunshine in 2012. So again, they will have to go back on the policy guidelines on daily lesson plan preparation, Deputy Order 42, Series 2016. So the teachers will be guided in this activity. And activity 4, for lesson 2, module 3, using and implementing SLMs plus LAC. No? So this is now the designing of lessons. Again, they will be provided with samples of these lessons in this package in order for them to use in making their lesson plans, no, with the use of the self-learning modules or supplementing self-learning modules in designing their lessons. Like what we did, like what we are now preparing in our division, that with the use of the self-learning modules, these things are really supplemented with some other. Hello, hello, Ma'am Jane. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Please proceed.
I will proceed now to activity 4. To emphasize the use of DepEd Order number 42, which is policy guidelines on daily lesson plan preparation. So again, we provided with these elements, but actually we are done. We are done with our self-learning modules, the development of these modules. But we are still in the process of preparing and aligning ourselves, our preparations on the supplementary materials that are to be accompanied with the self-learning modules. And this is a very important topic in the preparation of the implementation of modalities. And this must be tackled seriously in the LAC session. It's either in a small or big plenary. Lessons and assessment in different LDMs. So this is a continuation of lesson 2 under module 3. Now for activity 5 and activity 6, identifying the similarities and differences between formative and summative assessment methods in distance learning in activity 6. Again, you will be provided with a copy of DepEd Order number 8, Series 2015. If you can still recall, this is the policy guidelines on classroom assessment, no? So, identifying the similarities and differences between formative and summative assessment. No? So, you will be discussing this one in your LAC session, the formative and summative assessment. In our modules that are developed, we have that, if you can still recall, an important part of the module is what's in, no, or the pretest, no, the pretest. So that will form part of the formative assessment. Then in the later part of the week, there is that summative assessment that will be given. But for the method of giving the assessments of these formative and summative assessments to our learners, considering the it's either formative and summative assessments without face-to-face arrangement, no? So again, you will be guided with this DepEd Order number 8. But for the meantime, what we are learning about is on the assessments that can be given to the learners is on the preparation of their portfolio. But we are still including this topic because formative and summative assessments will form part of the accomplishments of the learners. Even distance learning will be continued, or even we will go back to the face-to-face arrangement. For activity number 7, lesson 2, building a learner's portfolio. So building a learner's portfolio, so this is the most assessment, no, of getting assessment performance of our learners, the building a learner's portfolio. So again, you will be guided with this link, guidelines on the preparation of portfolio and e-portfolio. So you have nothing to worry about when you will be conducting already your LAC sessions, because every activity, in every lesson, in every module are backed up with materials. So all you have to do is just to download these materials, and whoever the LAC leaders in your group or the LAC leader in your group will be the one to facilitate in the production and downloading of these materials for the LAC members or for the circulation of the whole group. For lesson 3, guiding and monitoring learners in the different LDMs. Now, it is not only important in the Department of Education that we will have to take position on the distribution and on the preparation of the different learning modalities as well as the supplemental learning materials for our learners. But what is also the most important is to monitor our learners on the status of their progress. If these learning materials are really effective, if these materials are maximized by our learners, is this material are and even more, we can performance of our learners because in every self-learning materials that we are going to give to them, we are going also to get and to retrieve the accomplishments, giving it to other groups, but also the
Hello, Brad.
checking of
Hello, Brad Bios.
the of the scores.
Hello, Brad Bios.
But I just would like to tell you that we have also link or the sample home learning plans for you. Yes, sir. Sir?
Ang imong presentation, Brad Bios, naapa siya sa slide page 6, kini activity 2.
Lesson 3 na ni sir. Lesson 3.
Layo na kay ka no? Activity 2, page 6 pa ka. Na-address sa screen. Microsoft Word ba ni?
Activity 1.
Unsa may magi-present ka ng PowerPoint or Word?
PowerPoint.
Microsoft Word ni naka-display.
Sir, PowerPoint.
Wala naka-display ng PowerPoint. Stop sa ang sharing, sir.
PowerPoint?
Wala. Microsoft Word ni naka-display dere kaning LDM2 Module 1 Course Orientation. Page 6. I-stop sa ang presentation nimo, sir. Ang share, pag-share nimo sa then balik kag share, i-click tong PowerPoint. Okay, hantod karon na naka-share ang Microsoft Word. Okay. Then share og usab.
Mabalik na kog share, sir.
Sige. Kato ng PowerPoint i-present.
PowerPoint pa ni sir.
Kadit lang, wala pa yung ni-display. Medyo hinay ang inyong signal diya, no? Okay, Nana, orientation on learning delivery modalities course LDM2 for teachers. Okay. Una ni?
Dili ko kakita sir, hama ko mo kana ni. Dili na ko makita.
Tanawa sa ubos ang PowerPoint.
Nag-stop sharing.
Ayaw nang stop sharing.
Ako ni present.
Nas pinakaubos tanawa.
Nag-stop sharing ko na dito. Ako ni wala ko makita.
Stop sharing sa dayon. Ang imong presentation, ang slideshow nimo, pag slideshow nimo, ikuan lang ayaw tong extended. Kay basing naka-extended na mo nang di ka kakita. Duplicate lang.
kita sa may.
Boss Earl, tabangin tayo ng atong amigo diha.
Ngayon kayo na po, ngayon dyan, ito paday lang, strike. Itu din siya. Ini Hindi po sila, kung sudanan slide. Diyan ako concentrate.
Mana yang slide? I-mute sana ako.
Mga igsoon, asa naman mo?
Tawagan ako.
Bios is in another area, and I think they have a problem with their signal. So just a reminder, in composing your lock group in your respective schools, be reminded that the lock leader shall be automatically the master teacher or the head teacher. So always bear in mind that you should have with you your lock notebook. Your lock notebook, yes, that serves as your journal. That is where you're going to write your individual reflection and outputs in every activity. So you can use your existing lab group in your respective schools. So for lab group in big schools, it is required that at least there shall be 15 members per group. So per group, you will have your lab leader, your lab facilitator, and your lab documenter. So in elementary, automatically your master teacher will be the lab leader. So for secondary schools, teachers shall be grouped by specialization. So again, for secondary, teachers shall be grouped by specialization. So again, the LAC leader is automatically the master teacher or the head teacher of that specialized group. So again, teachers be reminded that the NAIAP regional office will issue your certificate of completion if you will be able to complete the modules and the required documents in this learning delivery modalities for teachers. So be sure to complete your requirements for you to have your certificate of completion. So once again, don't forget to have your katami this afternoon. So your katami will serve as your attendance again is not enough. If you don't have your katami and only your attendance, your certificate will not be served. So the two, the attendance and the katami, the presence of that two, you will automatically have your certificate of participation and it will be sent to your emails. Okay, so once again, I will give to you Sir Vios to continue with this presentation. Sir?
Say mag-request. Lesson 3, ma'am. Lesson 3. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. There is of the people.
Brad Bios, Brad Bios,
Now I
Brad,
will
Brad
be
Bios, Brad Bios,
continue. I will continue on the guiding and monitoring learners
Brad
in
Bios.
different learning modalities. I share floor.
Radios, i-off lang ang imuhang kamera kay para dili kay mo kaon.
Sir Flor.
I-off imong kamera. I-off imong kamera. I-off imong kamera.
Di gyapon madunggan, sir.
Madunggan pero maputol-putol. I-off imong kamera para minus ang kuan niya kaon sa signal. Ang kamera nimo ba i-off?
Dili kay ko kadungog, sir, nimo Sir Flor.
I-off ang kamera.
Sir Flor, dili kay madungog.
Sujat lang, tawagan ako.
Sir, turn off ko na imong camera, sir.
Ang
I-off imong camera para lesser ang gamit sa inyong internet. Kaya magputol-putol ka, sir.
kana dili naman mo.
Okay na, okay na.
Hey. Di gyapon madungog. Sir Flor.
Okay na, sir. Please proceed.
Okay na?
Sir, sir, i-off sa imong camera,
Okay.
kalihog, sir. Please turn off your camera. Sir Vios, please turn off your camera.
Okay, ma'am. Off na.
Okay. Sige, sir. Please proceed.
Okay na, ma'am. Turned off na ang kamera.
Okay, sir. Please proceed.
Okay na? Karon na
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sige. So, again, sorry for the inconvenience. So, I will continue. Okay. Now, for Lesson 3 under Module 3 or Session 3, Guiding and Monitoring Learners in the Different LDMs. So, as what I have said a while ago, that it is not only for all of us in the department to prepare all the self-learning materials to be distributed or to be given to all the learners that the Department of Education in Lanao del Norte. But it is also very important for us to really design any monitoring tool or to adapt any monitoring tool for us to really assess the performance of our learners in the performance of the task given to them as reflected in their self-learning modules. Close man? Close off. Okay ra, ma'am. Jane, madungog ra ko. Okay ra?
Sir, madungog ra,
Sige.
sir. Okay ra.
Next activity, for activity 1, understand the weekly home. Mampalong naman kung inigbalik. Inigibot ba mampalong? Plan. Yapon? Okay. Now, this weekly home learning plan will guide our teachers and at the same time our learning facilitators or the parents to guide their learners as to what particular topic in a particular learning area that their learners find difficulty or that have lag behind their performance of the different activities in the different learning modules. So it is very important to have this weekly home learning plan. So that is why, again, this tool, weekly home learning plan, is provided in this material, in this package. So you have nothing to worry about for this. For activity 2, under lesson 3, talong niya. Okay, activity 2, lesson 3, under this guiding and monitoring learners in different learning modalities, the LAC members, including the LAC facilitators, basta may nani, wala no? Basta mo doon. Okay. So for activity 2, creating a weekly home learning plan. This will be your activity in conducting your learning action cell. But you have nothing to worry about in creating a weekly learning plan. I know now have already the weekly home learning plan, but this is just an additional information for your last sessions for us to have a complete details on the preparation of the weekly home learning plan. For activity 3, differentiating the weekly home learning plan from the individual learning plan, learning monitor plan. Ano siya man na yun? Hold on good. Wala. Wala pa nag-move. Wala nag-move din. Okay, for your activity 3, differentiating the weekly home learning plan from the individual learning monitoring plan. So you will be given a template for this. There is already a filled up or filled out template for the individual learning monitoring plan. Okay. Di ko madungog, Ma'am Jane.
Sir, nakadungog ra. Okay lang. Okay ra, sir. Serious. Serious.
Hello, Ma'am Jane.
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Sige. Padayon lang ko. Sige daw. Okay. So in different
Sir, nawa na po ka, sir. Serious. Sir. Serious. Sir. Serious. Serious. Serious.
nawala ko, Ma'am Jane. Hindi mo ko madungog. Lagi, nawala man po din noon ang display sa... Ang diha sa inyo ang display, kamo mo may present diya, nawala po? Karon ibalik na madungog ko. Dili, open ko sa mic sa kuan ba? Laptop. Madungog na ko nga nanawag ko nimo. Sige. Kani Ma'am Jane. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sige.
Sir.
Gamay na lang kayo ni Ma'am Jane, hapit na ni mahuman.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so laban lang kini, laban. No? Okay, so we are now in activity 4, creating an individual learning monitoring. Again, this individual learning monitoring plan and the weekly home learning plan, I know that the schools have started already preparing all these plans for this learning delivery modalities, but this will be forced through the last session and some of the learning thoughts in this learning ideas in these materials So that is why it is very important also include this one in the learning action cell of the series sessions. Next slide, ma'am. Next slide, please. Okay. For the expected outputs uh, for this module, for this session, if ever they have conducted already their LAC, so list of targeted learner interventions, that is one of the expected outputs. It is included in the materials that will be given to the teachers. Learning task for distance learning. Then we have assessment methods in distance learning, weekly home learning plan for one subject, individual learning monitoring plan for a student who lags behind in completing the learning task. I hope that this time we know already and we can classify that learning monitoring or individual learning monitoring plan is intended only for those students who lags behind in completing the learning task. But the weekly home learning plan for this implementation will be in all subjects, in all grade levels. That is to be prepared by the teachers and to be consolidated, if possible, by the class advisors. So weekly home learning plan, that is a separate plan for the individual learning monitoring plan. And yet we will be all learning further these different plans, templates, as we go through with the series of sessions for this learning action cell. Then we have LAC form 3, teacher engagement report. Again, this will be given to included in the package and decision report. These are all the reports that are required for all LAC members in the LAC session to be accomplished in every end of the modules. No? So I think those are all. Anyway, you will be given all these materials, and even these PowerPoint presentations, because I really modify or I really add something with the presentations, considering that the links are very important in every activity. That is why I included in my presentation, but unfortunately I could not make it because we don't have any full control of the signal. But maybe in the school level learning action cell sessions, you can utilize all of these materials, all these PowerPoint presentations, and even in your orientation. With that, thank you very much. I am very much sorry with the inconvenience of the presentations, but I just would like to emphasize that all of these things are reflected in the Department Order number 12, Series 2020 in the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan as our main resource or main source of information for this learning delivery modalities implementation for this pandemic time. Thank you very much, and once again, good day to all of us.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Vios. At least you're done with your presentation. And to continue discussing to us the walkthrough of learning delivery modality 2 for teachers, I will give to Dr. Doreen O. Edria. Ma'am Lorraine? Ma'am Lorraine?
Mapindot. Good morning,
Okay.
everyone.
Good morning,
Jen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So, my respect to our Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Edelberto Plinaria, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Mary Rose Masisar, our OIC Chief, Ma'am Mary Arlene Carbonera, our SGOD Chief, Ma'am Maricar Ablin, and now the APSS, PSDSS, school heads, as well as the teachers. Good morning, everyone. So, my presentation, wait lang ha. Di lagi siya magka-share. Okay, this is a continuation. Okay. Di na ako makuon. Bakit? Ayan.
Balik lang.
Ganyan.
Balik yan. Balik sa atin. Nagtanong.
Ganyan. Ganyan.
Sige. I-ask na sila ma'am kung nakita na ba nila.
Okay. So nakita na ba? Ma'am Jen, nakita na?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so once again, good morning. So this is now the session 3.3B, this module 3B, learning resources. So with this, in this module, the objectives are associate learning resources with the specific learning modalities, then access resources from the online portals such as DepEd Commons and LR portals of the Department of Education. And third, explain the importance of using the quality assured learning resources. So for these modules, there are 3 lessons. Lesson 1, it's all about the learning resources map for distance learning. Lesson 2, it's about assessing learning resources from the DepEd portals. Then lesson 3, it's assessing the LR materials. So this session, this module is consists for 4 hours. Then for lesson 1, about the learning resource map for distance learning. So the activities, there are 2 activities. The first activity is answering the questions about the learning resources map. So it is also provided in the package. Then the activity 2, so you're going to discuss the answers for this activity in your small group. So the discussion in your small group, in your LAC sessions, you are already grouped into in groups, in small groups, no? Then for lesson 2, assessing learning resources from the DepEd portals. So there are 2 activities. The first activity is assessing and exploring the LR portal as well as the DepEd Commons. So we have the material here on how we are going to access, explore the LR portal. And I know most of us or all DepEd personnel are already members of the LR portal. And then as well as also how are we going to use the DepEd Commons. Then for activity 2, so we are going to discuss also the answers, no? So there are a series of answers in activity 1. You are going to discuss that one also in your small group. Then lesson 3, it's about assessing the LR materials. So there are 4 activities. The first activity, using the LR rapid assessment tool to assess a DepEd material. Then activity 2, assessing the LR materials from the non-DepEd LR portals and platforms. So we also have handouts for this in the package. Then activity 3, assessing one's own LR. Then activity 4, this is now the discussion in your Slack activities, the answers for activities 1, 2, as well as 3. The expected output for this module is the 2 accomplished rapid assessment tools with reflection. So your reflections, as the previous speaker said, it will be reflected in your study notebook or journal. Next module, module 4, it's about planning for continuing professional development and LAC planning. So for this module, so we have 4 objectives. First, carry out your plan for your continuing professional development or PD. Second, discuss the different PD initiatives, programs related to the LDMs that are available to you, either provided by DepEd or by non-DepEd learning service providers. Then, number 3, develop a PD plan including the learning action plan. Then, lastly, commit to your professional growth and development. So there are 2 lessons for this module. So first, lesson 1, reflecting on the professional life and development. Then lesson 2 is planning for the continuing professional development and participation in the LAC session. So this be done in 2 hours. Then for lesson 1, reflecting on the professional life and development. So there are 3 activities. First, in the first activity, you're going to fill out the professional self-assessment questionnaire. It is also provided in this package. Then activity 2, identifying the PPST indicators to focus on. So based on the result of your self-assessment questionnaire. Then activity 3, setting the LDM-related PD goals. So again, all of this, the activities is also found in the LDM course 2 package. Then lesson 2, the planning for the continuing professional development and participation in the LAC. There are 2 activities. So the first activity, accomplishing the individual professional development plan template. So again, so the template is still in the package. So you will be provided with the the complete set of the package of the LDM2. Then activity number 2 is discussing the answers, no, in lesson 1, activity 3, and lesson 2 activities in your small group. Then the expected output for this module is the finalized LDM individual development plan. That is all about the module 4. For the last module, now for this LDM2 course, course 2 is module 5, the building, the teaching portfolio related to the implementation of the modalities. So the objectives for this, you are going to list down all the evidences of the LDM implementation that was discussed thoroughly by Sir Rosalio Vios. Then you are going to plan for how to make sure that you will be able to relate these evidences to your professional practice based on the professional standards. No, then the contents of this module, we have 2 lessons. We have the teaching portfolio and its contents, as well as the evaluation rubrics. So in accomplishing your teaching portfolio, so we also have the rubric, no, to rate your portfolio. So in accomplishing this, so you have 4 hours. Okay, for lesson 1, the teaching portfolio and its contents. So we have 4 activities. First, you are going to check the completion of the modules 1 to 4 requirements. It was discussed, no, from the previous speakers, what are those requirements, expected outputs. Then for activity 2, you are going to reflect, so reflecting on the building my portfolio, so it's a reflection. And then activity 3, reflecting on the varied evidences to complete my portfolio. Then activity 4, you are going to discuss, no, the answers for activities 2 and 3 in your small group. Then activity 5, submitting the finalized list of suggested evidence form to a side LAC leader in your school. Then for lesson 2, so this is about evaluation rubric. So activity 1, so you were also provided with the handouts, no? It is found also in the package, the understanding the LDM2 teachers evaluation rubric. So there is also rubric for this, no, in assessing your portfolio. And then in your small group, that is for activity 2, you are going to discuss, no, the rubric and presenting the next step. Okay, then the expected output of this, of course, your portfolio, which will be the one you are going to submit that one to your LAC leader. And okay, so these are the expected outputs for module 5. So these are the outputs from module 1 up to module 4. So, but for module 1, the course orientation, so there is no output for submission for this, no? Then for module 2, it's about MELC. The presentation and your expected output for this is the presentation of the LAC group on unpacking of a sample MELC. Then for module 3A, the lesson design and assessment in the modalities. So these are the expected outputs, list of the targeted learners interventions, learning tasks for distant learning. Then number 3, assessment methods in the distance learning. Then the weekly home plan for one subject. Then number 5, the individual learning monitoring plan for a student who lags behind in completing the learning tasks. Then last 6 is the LAC 3 teacher engagement report, and 7 is LAC 3 session report. Those are the expected output for module 3A. For module 3B, so the expected outputs are to accomplish LR rapid assessment tools with reflections. So these reflections is reflected in your study notebook. Then module 4, planning for continuing professional development and LAC planning. The expected output for this is a finalized LDM individual development plan produced after the discussion during the LAC session. Then module 5, of course, the building your LDM TA portfolio, that is your portfolio. That will be submitted, no? Okay, so that's all, and thank you so much. Thank you, Ma'am Jen. Ma'am Jen, I'm done.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Lorraine. So this time, let us have our noon break, let us have our lunch, and let us be back at exactly 1 o'clock this afternoon. And this afternoon, our first discussant will be Dr. Maria Eva S. Edon. She's going to discuss to us about the technical assistance and coaching in learning delivery modality 2 for teachers. Once again, good morning, everybody, and keep safe.